It's become clear to me over the last couple months that you've hit me over the head hard enough throughout the years that...
By telling you the way the laws work rather than what you want to hear?
No. I'm just wasn't at that vibrational level yet to hear it clearly. Now I do.
Yeah.
And what's so funny about it, though, is, again, it's your message every time you get on stage, every city you go to. But I wasn't in the vibrational place to hear it that clear enough. Or I was working on other things.
You heard what you were ready to hear, and that's
Okay.
all right. Don't talk about what you couldn't hear before you could hear it.
All right.
Talk about what you're hearing.
I got you. I'm hearing that the most important thing in my life right now is my relationship with me.
Yeah.
Absolutely, positively.
And that translates into what? Mood.
Yeah, setting my tone.
Being happy.
Yeah. So I kind of want to hit a little bit on the unconditional, conditional thing.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because I don't want to figure this thing out, but I want to figure this thing out. Because I feel like the way I'm intellectually understanding it might be a little bit off, and so viscerally, I'm not really sitting with it as much as I could be.
Maybe.
Okay.
We think you're there.
Oh, okay. And so how am I there?
Well, talk to us about what's on your mind, and
Okay. So I'm learning to unconditionally love myself.
I'm learning to let myself feel good first and foremost. That's all that is.
Yeah, I got that. I am attempting on a daily basis to allow myself to be gentler on myself, allow myself to appreciate myself, allow myself to just go with the flow.
I'm seeing more of the evidence of the gifts of the universe and accepting that I must be in the good place or I wouldn't be seeing them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Happens often.
Yeah.
And we'll get off track there. So
we're just taking your words, which are vibrationally on point, and putting them in Abraham terminology for the purpose of enhancing the on-pointness of them.
They sound so much better.
They don't sound one bit better. It's just a little more momentum for the purpose of soothing you.
Okay.
Because you're sitting in a sort of attitude that it could be better, which means that right now it's less good than it should be.
Sure.
And we want you to get over that because it's as good now as it can be, and it's good enough. That's the piece you're looking for. Even though there's someplace else you might want to be or something else you might want, now has to be all right. Now has to be on the path. We want you to accept that you're on your path and that's good, rather than feeling that you must be off your path because it isn't happening fast. That's the piece.
And I agree with you. Right now, I feel I have visceral identity with what you just said.
Yes.
So then I don't really need to talk about that.
Right.
Okay. So
sometimes, and this is something that we want all of you to hear, chewing over what feels like a problem doesn't lead you to a solution.
Sure.
Because it keeps the problem active and sets up a little wall of resistance so that then the solution can't occur to you. So the sensation that we want you to feel, what we want you to intellectually acknowledge, is that you're not so much creating your own reality, because you already didn't. It's in the vortex. So now we don't want to say to you, you're creating your own reality. We want to say to you, you are getting in the receptive mode to receive the details of the reality you've created. And there's a difference. So it's all about receptive mode, which means it's all about mood. So when you take score of where you are in relationship to what you want, you mess up the receptive mode, because now you're in the I'm not getting what I want thing, which shuts down your receptors so that you can't receive the impulses. So this stream of thought occurs to you. Our friend demonstrated a really wonderful. He managed, by listening to the first conversation, to get into the receptive mode. And it was pretty easy for him to do because he has strong desires and he's been working on this for a while. So he's in the receptive mode. Doesn't even realize that he is. He's sort of kind of blocking it for himself by saying, I didn't get enough sleep. Still, he's in the receptive mode enough that he gets an impulse to go do something. And he is in the receptive mode enough to follow the impulse. Now, it doesn't seem very important, but it is. So he followed the impulse, and then he was in the receptive mode enough to realize that he wasn't going to find what he wanted at the first line he stood in. And he was in the receptive mode enough that he got an impulse to go do something else. He was in the receptive mode enough to rendezvous with some other people who could help him even get more in the receptive mode. He was enough in the receptive mode that he got called to the hot seat. You see what we're getting at?
Yeah.
That's worth acknowledging. I must be doing something right because I saw this magnificent sunrise, or I saw the beauty in the sky, or if you will spend time acknowledging your intellectual, conscious awareness of being in the receptive mode, it compounds it. It makes it more and more until being in that receptive mode just becomes who you are and what you were always doing. And then you've lived sporadically that. You've lived not little, spurts in your life when you really knew you were there. And so the more you acknowledge it when it's happening, not trying so much to go back and retrace it, because you retrace more than you mean to. You get receptive mode moments and then you get the other two. But if you will, in this moment, day by day, moment by moment, hour by hour, as you're moving through life, acknowledge, oh, I must be in the receptive mode because of how I feel, not because of what it yields. You see, it's yielding a feeling. It's yielding a feeling. And if the feeling that it is yielding can be enough evidence to you that you are in the receptive mode, now you've got your point of attraction under control. But if in this moment it yields a feeling, and now you're trying to connect the dots between the feeling and the further manifestation that you want, you shoot yourself in the foot and you turn off your receptive mode, and the momentum stops, and that's as far as this one got you. And that's what's happening to a lot of you. You're getting that far, but you're not letting it be big enough and important enough to you. You get that far and you don't acknowledge the importance of it. You get that far and it just keeps petering out. Sorry, Peter. It just keeps petering out. It just keeps petering out because it just keeps dwindling, because you don't allow the momentum of it to continue to go. Where if every time you feel good, you acknowledge the importance of that manifestation of that feeling, now you encourage, you allow the momentum further, and now something more happens and something more happens until you gain this confidence. And that's really what we want for you, because in the confidence, you know this from the work you do, you know this from the athletic coaching that you do, you know this from the conversations that you have with athletes, you know that it's all about mind. And sure, it's about the action, and it's about the body, and it's about the stamina that you've built, but it's about focus, it's about mind, it's about the energy, it's about the momentum of the energy. Have you ever watched someone working out? Are you still teaching them to pitch and pitch fast?
Yeah.
Do you notice that when they start, it's slower than when they do it for a while?
Oh, sure.
Is there a momentum that they build on?
Absolutely.
And can it be different in the momentum of energy?
No.
So if you were coaching yourself in terms of the pitching of the energy, would you say do it sporadically?
No.
Would you say do it without focus?
No.
Would you say don't ever acknowledge when it went really well?
No.
Would you say do it often? Would you say do it until you really trust yourself?
Yes.
Would you say don't pay attention to what anybody else is thinking, just feel your own relationship to it?
Absolutely.
Would you say note your progress? Would you say note your improvement?
Not judge your improvement.
Note
you
it?
could note it in a, yes, I guess.
Would you say notice that the more you do it, the better you get at it?
Noticing yourself doing it well, yes.
Would you say, so we're on to something here just a little bit. So what did you just think we said that you don't quite want to say? Because you see, you've got that down. You're really successful with that. That's working. You know what that is. So what do you think that we just said that you wouldn't say to your athlete in training?
I don't want them to measure in a way where they're looking at themselves less than.
Oh, really?
But that's why I'm saying it to you now, because I know I do that with myself, and my attempt is to not be sporadic with my good measuring.
So how do you get around that with them? What suggestions do you give them that makes that go better for them?
I tell them to suck it up. I'm joking. So, I mean, basically I attempt in a subtle way to teach them about listening to how they feel.
Do you say to them, don't expect huge jumps?
I do say that, yes.
Do you say to them, sometimes just doing the same thing is good enough?
Yes.
Do you say we don't need to note our progress every step of the way?
I do say that.
Do you say that the progress sometimes is so subtle and so gentle that it's really not even discernible, even though it's there?
I do say that.
Yeah, well, say it to yourself. Because it's exactly the same thing, isn't it?
And I've realized that more so in the last 2 months of my life than ever before.
Do you say, have fun?
To myself
To
or
them?
to them? Of course I did.
Really? Of course you do. That was
Of course
emphatic.
I do.
Of course you do.
Yeah,
And
because I know how much fun they're having when they're in the place that they want to be.
do they do better when they're having fun?
Of course they do. Well, some want to be a little more focused and want to rev down on the fun because it's not necessarily that type of focus for them.
So instead of use word fun, is clarity fun?
Yes.
Is stamina fun?
Yes.
Is
Endurance,
strength fun?
Strength, yes. Power, accuracy, speed.
Getting in the flow of the physics of this time-space reality?
Yes.
Is utilizing the benefit of the alignment of their muscles fun?
Yes.
Is feeling the connection between what they're thinking and therefore what happens as a result of that fun?
Yes.
Is realizing that your path is eternally unfolding fun for you? Is realizing that there's no ending to it fun for you?
Yes.
Is realizing that you're in the right place at the right time all the time, 100% of the time?
Yeah.
Does that feel good to you?
It's so cool when you think about it that way.
So there they are. They are employing all of the techniques that you have instructed. And they came with a lot of their own too, didn't they?
They sure did.
So the two of you harmonized for the creation of the best moments together. Is there something about your keen awareness of the role you play with them that's making you feel scrutinized or coached from...
You just hit a chord, right? Why'd you
Yeah.
do that, Abraham?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, that's why you want to be in this chair.
Son of a...
Yeah, bitch.
So say it again, because this is good.
So as you are the outside coach to these guys...
I can't worry about what anyone else is looking at, what we're doing, because this is our moment. This is our conversation. It's not theirs.
But as you are to them, you think that there are others that are that way to you. In other words, as you are scrutinizing their process or scrutinizing their progress, that's what's making you so self-aware of the techniques that you might be not quite on or not quite off. And really what we're wanting to say to you is that your non-physical coach is less picky than you are as a physical coach to them.
Sure.
Your non-physical coach, the source within you, all of us, we are always pleased with what you are doing, and there is never a moment of correction that we are wanting to offer.
But that doesn't work all the time.
Well, there it is right there.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It works
Okay.
all the time, and nothing else works.
Okay.
Nothing else works. But you see, you live in this physical world where you've been trained to believe that you got to point out what's working and you got to point out what's not working, and you got to stop doing the stuff that isn't working. And how can you stop doing the stuff that isn't working if you don't know what the stuff that isn't working is that you're doing?
Well, not necessarily. If I'm in a job where the critiquing is of importance to the people above me, how do I treat the critique?
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You do it vibrationally. That's what we're talking about. You have awareness that you're being watched. You're watching your pictures. You have awareness that people are watching you.
Okay.
And in all of that, there's a self-scrutinization. There's a self-criticism that is not the path of least resistance.
Okay.
And so we want to help you to kind of get around that. And we
Okay.
want you to think about those that you've had greatest success with. We want you to notice that those who you've had the greatest success with were the least invested in what you or anyone else thought about them on a day-to-day basis. You know it's true. You know it's true.
You know it's true.
We know it's true. But we also know that you know that it's true. And so...
And that would lessen my importance in my role?
Well, it gives you less opportunity to hinder them.
Well, that's a good thing.
It's a very
Because I
good
don't
thing.
want to be important to them
And
for the
we
hindrance.
want you to let the people that you are reporting to be unimportant to you.
Yes, I want that too.
And
I learned that this year.
we're wanting to point out that when you're reaching for the coaching that comes from non-physical, there isn't any of that that's going on, because never do we critique from what you should stop doing. The path of least resistance is always opening up. In other words, here's the way to see this. Path of least resistance. Let's talk about it. Path of least resistance, path of most allowance. So the path of most allowance is always a door opening. It's never a door closing.
Yeah.
But lots of times in coaching, it's closing this door. Don't do that, and don't do that, and don't do that.
Yeah.
Where the path of least resistance is open the door, open the door, open the door, open the door.
Solution-oriented, not problem-oriented, yeah.
That's the only
Okay.
subtle distinction that we're making here with you.
Okay.
Think about that.
I'm aware of the problem, but I don't need to convey the problem to them. I convey the solutions that I'm seeing for them.
And until you get completely in harmony with the solution, you're not inner being like.
Gotcha.